fabled heat, where magic meets desire. Subscribe to ignite the fantasy.
The flickering gaslight did little to penetrate the gloom that clung to my office, much like the grime that seemed permanently embedded beneath my fingernails. 27 years on the force, 27 years of staring into the abyss, and the abyss had started staring back with my own eyes. My name is Detective Inspector Alastair Finch, or at least it was. Now I'm not so sure what to call myself. I've spent my career wading through the muck of this city, Whitechapel's worst. Murders, disappearances, thefts that would curdle your blood. I thought I was immune, that I was a rock, unshakable in the face of depravity. I was wrong. It started subtly. The empathy began to fade, replaced by a detached curiosity. I saw the victims not as people but as pieces of a puzzle. The perpetrators not as monsters but as anomalies to be categorized and understood. It was efficient, cold, and effective until it wasn't. The shift happened with the Ripper case, I think. The city was a tinderbox, fear sparking in every corner. We were chasing shadows, grasping at whispers, and then I met him. Dr. Thomas Ashton, a man of science, of precision, of quiet intellect. He was assisting the investigation, providing meticulous analysis of the crime scenes. He was everything I wasn't: calm, reasoned, and untouched by the grime. He was also devastatingly beautiful, not in the flashy, common way, but with a subtle elegance that drew me in. His eyes, the color of storm clouds, held a deep sadness, a weight that mirrored my own but bore it with a grace I envied. We spent hours together, poring over evidence, discussing theories. He saw past the gruff exterior I presented to the world. He saw the weariness, the slow erosion of my soul. He didn't judge, he listened. And I, in turn, found myself drawn to his quiet strength, his unwavering belief in the power of reason, even in the face of unspeakable horror. I started lingering after our meetings, offering to walk him home, finding excuses to extend our time together. We spoke of philosophy, of art, of the stars. I discovered a part of myself I thought long dead, a capacity for tenderness, for connection. The Ripper case consumed us, the pressure mounted, sleep became a luxury. We were both frayed, raw. One night, after a particularly gruesome discovery, I found myself at Thomas's doorstep. I don't know what I intended. Comfort, perhaps, understanding. I only knew I needed him. He let me in, the warmth of his fire, the scent of sandalwood from his pipe. It was a balm to my ravaged senses. We talked for hours, our voices hushed, the city's cacophony muted by the thick stone walls. He spoke of the nature of evil, of the darkness that lurks within us all. I listened, captivated by his words, by the intensity of his gaze. Then it happened, a look, a shared breath, and the dam burst. I reached for him, my hand trembling as I touched his cheek. He didn't pull away. His eyes, dark with a longing that mirrored my own, met mine. I kissed him. The kiss was tentative at first, a question asked and answered. Then it deepened, a desperate plea for solace, for connection, for something real in a world of lies and shadows. We were both lost, consumed by a hunger we had both denied for so long. It was wrong, I knew it. I was a detective, sworn to uphold the law. He was a respected scientist, an innocent caught in the crosshairs of my dissent. And I was using him, using his kindness, his vulnerability, to fill the void within myself. But I couldn't stop. We tumbled into his bed, clothes discarded in a frantic rush. The act was not gentle, not romantic, but a raw expression of need, of desperation. He moaned my name, his body trembling beneath mine. For a moment I forgot everything, the Ripper, the city, the rot that had taken root in my soul. Then the morning came. The light, harsh and unforgiving, revealed the truth in stark relief. I looked at Thomas, his face pale, his eyes filled with a mixture of shame and regret. I saw the stain I had left on him, the innocence I had stolen. I left without a word. The next day I went to my superior and confessed, not to the kiss, not to the night in Thomas's bed. I confessed to something far worse. I confessed to a calculated manipulation of evidence in a past case, a case where the wrong man was imprisoned because he was an easy target, a case where I had rationalized the injustice, convinced myself that it was for the greater good. The truth was I hadn't cared. I am unfit to serve, I told him, my voice hollow. I have become the very thing I swore to fight. He looked at me with a mixture of disbelief and disgust. You're throwing away your career, Finch, everything you've built. I have nothing to build on but lies and corruption, I replied. The trial was swift, brutal. I offered no defense. I pleaded guilty to all charges. My colleagues, my friends, they watched in stunned silence as I was stripped of my badge, my rank, my dignity. As I stood before the judge, awaiting my sentence, I saw Thomas in the gallery. His face was unreadable, his eyes filled with a profound sadness. I met his gaze, a silent apology etched on my face. I was sentenced to 5 years in prison, a light sentence considering the gravity of my crimes, but for me it was a life sentence. Now I sit in my cell, the silence broken only by the clang of the iron gates and the muffled cries of my fellow inmates. I am alone, stripped of everything but the weight of my conscience. I am a stain on the fabric of society. But sometimes, in the quiet of the night, I allow myself to remember the feel of Thomas's skin beneath my hands, the sound of his voice, the fleeting moment of connection we shared. And I wonder if, even in the depths of my depravity, there is still a chance for redemption. Maybe, just maybe, the stain can be washed away.